Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 1 of the Brawlhalla Championship Series. As you may or may not know, I am Sparky878, and joining me, introduce yourself, my man.
What is up? I am Designated Asian. You can find my information below me as well as Sparky's information below him. I hope I'm pointing in the correct direction. But what do we got for them, Sparky?
Alright, well basically I'm going to lay out the rules to you here, so bear with me. It was stated on the Reddit post, but for those who didn't see that, the way it's going to work is we have a 5-week tournament series laid out for you, and I'm going to kind of plan the road out right now. Every week is going to be a somewhat independent double elimination tourney. The way this is going to work is we are starting right now, step 1, week 1. It is going to be a double elimination tourney like we have seen multiple times, 1v1 of course, where each player will be seeded based on their ranked ELO, their global ranked ELO. So the tournament will work similarly as you've seen before, but every victory in a the best of 3 victory will get 1 point. Every player starts out with 0 points and moves on up. Once we get to next week, that's where we throw a little bit of a wrench into the play. Now, see, next week is going to be seeding based 100% off of points. It doesn't matter if you haven't touched a ranked game since the reset. It is based on your points from this week. Now, the wrench that we throw into the plan is there's a ratio that we have lined out, which is a 2-to-1 point ratio. So if Dobrain has, let's say, 10 points, and Loco Doco has, say, 5 points, and Dobrain plays Loco, and Loco wins, that satisfies the 2-to-1 ratio. Loco is going to be awarded the 1 point for the victory, and he will be awarded 10% of Dobrain's points, which in this case would obviously be 1 point. So instead of the 1 point only, he will be awarded 2 points, bringing his score to 7. Now, I will outline that there are no penalties for losing, so we will just take 10% of Dobrain's points and add them to Loco's. There is no penalty to Dobrain. He will still have 10, and Loco will now have 7 points. The reason that we do this is because we understand that life happens. Sometimes people get sick. There are emergencies. Sometimes people have to leave tournaments early. And with this system, this means that nobody is penalized for missing a few games or even missing an entire week. You are constantly pushed to play the best that you can every single week. Maybe you're not top seed at the end of today, but that doesn't matter. It's just like a marathon. You are not going to win this week alone. You have to play consistently well throughout the entire 5-week process. We have the 4 weeks of qualifying tournaments, and then grand finals are in the 5th week. Where, Duke, how many are we going to be inviting to the last week for grand finals?
It's going to be a grand total of the top 16. I don't have 16 fingers, but the top 16 players, they're all going to get a free invite to this grand finals tournament, and it's going to be based purely on points. At that point, your ranking will not matter unless there is a tiebreaker. But the top 16 players, points-wise, will be invited to this tournament, and they'll all get a MetaDev code just for making it to the top 16, as well as a shot at that prize pool of $750. That is, it's quite a bit of money, is it not?
That is a significant chunk of change.
But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show the bracket off real quick. There's a, whoops. So let me find the link. Here we go. And bam, I don't know if this is 100% the final bracket, but this is what we've got right now. Dobrain, Twilight, Legit, Punisher, LDZ, Alec, Furiosity, El Loco Doco, Kakzarn, Stardust, Magma Bob, MT Site, Crocky, Arkosh, J6, MK2, Arcade, Moose, SBA, everyone else. You can see them all the way down. We've got about 40 people, 39, I believe. Some people still checking in. This numbers might change. The bracket might change a little bit. I'm also going to give a quick little shout out to Zenigan behind the scenes. He's our admin. He's doing all the good stuff that no one really gives credit for. So I just want to give him a little bit of a shout out. White Sheepy will be also helping behind the scenes. And obviously, of course, we want to give a huge shout out to BMG for making this great game that we get to play and love so much, as well as for letting us stream this tournament on their channel, which you are looking at right now, twitch.tv/Brawlhalla. But I mean, obviously we got to promote ourselves. If you want to see us and our stuff, check out the link, or not the link, sorry. Check out our channels. They're all below each of our names, as well as shoutouts to our analysts at the analyst desk. They're in a separate room right now. They can't hear me. But we got Part of the Creed and TWK in the back, ready to talk about all sorts of good information. And you can find their Twitch channels underneath their names, underneath their pictures as well. But Sparky, what do you think about today?
I'm absolutely excited. Some of you may know that this is WrestleMania weekend. I honestly don't even care about that. This is the beginning of the road to my WrestleMania. This is what I have been looking forward to. We've been in the planning process for so long. We got amazing graphics. We have amazing play lined up. And the most interesting thing about this tournament that doesn't necessarily happen in a singular tournament that we've seen before is you're gonna have stories here. You're gonna have people that are fighting from the beginning to the end. You're gonna have people that have to pace themselves, that have to play at a very high level against many opponents week after week after week. We will see heartbreak, we will see hardships, and we may even see a few new rising stars in the community that we haven't seen before.
Absolutely, like you said, it's not like a one and done double elimination where the story is that somebody went to loser's bracket and came back. Instead, we've got different storylines. We've got people who maybe don't make it to first place each week, but by getting semifinals of the winner's bracket every week, that's still enough to qualify them to the top 16, where maybe they'll come out of nowhere and upset and win it. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, the more you get to play inside of this series, the more you put yourself into it and compete and play at your top of your game and beat people, the better your odds are making it to that top 16 and making it to that $750 prize pool, like we said. And also, speaking of graphics, you brought it up, but I just want to give a huge shout out to Dobreen. He made all of these graphics, so if you ever see that dude, super cool dude, makes super good graphics. So give him a little shout out as well.
He put it together very quickly. He was a pleasure to work with, and it was I was absolutely blown away by the graphics. I am seeing a lot of people asking if it is too late to join the tournament. Unfortunately, it is too late to join the tournament right now. I believe signups closed Thursday night?
They closed Friday night, but obviously, since it's a multiple week tournament, you're more than welcome to sign up for the other weeks. And
yes,
there's that by no means that you will not make it to the top 16. You might have a slightly harder road because you are starting behind other people, but that doesn't mean that you are out and to just give up for not making it in the first week. So if you are interested, feel free to sign up for one of the other weeks and try to make it to the top 16 of the tournament points.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I believe we are going to be kicking this off very shortly with round one. Who are we going to be seeing in round one?
I think we're waiting. We're giving some time for the people who are who maybe they're distracted. They're in a match right now and they haven't been able to check in on the Discord. We're giving them a little bit of time, but it is starting to close up. Once that is done, we're gonna give a quick refresh to the bracket because we don't know exactly who is going to be still in the bracket after that reset, or after that closing.
That just goes to show you how fun the game is. There is a tournament with money on the line and people can't even stop playing to check in.
Absolutely. And
I completely understand that.
They added Cassidy Cupcakes, which I'm sure quite a few people have been playing.
If I wasn't here doing this right now, I would absolutely be playing.
You don't have Cassidy Cupcakes running right now?
I don't actually. I was absent when that update hit, and I haven't been on the Reddit. I haven't been on anything, so I've been completely out of the loop and behind the times. And then I logged onto the Reddit today, and I saw people petitioning and begging for Cassidy's Cupcakes to be a year-round thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just chilling, eating dinner, and I get a message from El Loco Doco, one of our PM homies, and he was like, yo, Cassidy Cupcakes. And I was like, what are you talking about? Open it up. It is delightful. You know, if you like those clicker kind of games, Cassidy Cupcakes might be up your alley as far as game types go. But
I'm not a huge like Clicker Heroes fan, but it's Cassidy and his cupcakes. I'm absolutely down.
yeah, for sure. Sorry, I'm talking to Zen again right now to see if we've got any matches ready. But I kind of want to take one more look at this bracket real quick. 1 second. Here it is. To the best of my knowledge, this is the final bracket. We've got 23 people still in it. Dobreen, Volker, Stardust, Ontil, Arcade, Loco Doco, Pugsy, LDZ, Alec Curiosity, I Can't Kill Anyone, Magbob, Darth Mimi, MT, Site, Crazy Calmo, Orange B, Publish, Peace Productions, Kagzarn, Immortals, Moose, Egg Soup, Scythe, Melvdog, Twilight, and Clippership are all still in week 1, ready to fight it out. They all actually checked in and didn't have something come up dramatically. I understand some people are still on spring break. Some people, I think someone said they had a wedding they had to go to. So things sometimes happen. We super understand, and that is the whole reasoning behind that bonus point system where just because you miss week 1, yeah, it doesn't mean you're not going to be eligible for the grand finals. And to that same vein, there are people who have said they're going to maybe have to drop out. That's fine. You're still going to get your tournament points for the matches you do win. So we try to be as understanding as possible here. But without further ado, let's see if we can get some room numbers. Do you have a match that you're really excited to see? Just out of curiosity.
I'm excited to see Egg Soup because I know that he is sick today, and I would like to see how Egg plays. First of all, it's Egg against Moose, so you know it's going to be a good game
absolutely.
regardless. But with Egg being sick, I wonder if he's going to be able to pull it out and be a flu-ridden Michael Jordan at the 1998 championship game?
What?
Somebody might correct me on that sports reference.
I don't know that reference off the top of my head. Let me see if I can. See if we can get that. Hold on. You just keep talking about weird references that you want to make. I'm gonna.
I will tell you something that I'm actually really excited to see is that Diana just came out, and I've heard people say that Diana is bad. I'm not one of those people. I've seen people say that Diana is very good. All I know for sure is that she's an absolute blast to play, and I know Bo has been really strong very recently, especially with the release of Koji and all that dexterity. I would like to see what happens in the coming weeks and how the meta shifts with balance patches and the way weapons change. I wonder if we will see some nerfs to the bow that I know more than a few people are pleading for right now. I wonder if we will see nerfs to Diana specifically, and I'm really excited to see kind of who shifts to Diana, because a lot of people seem to poo-poo guns a little bit, and I'm seeing a lot of people absolutely adore Diana's guns. I'm a gun fan, and I can tell you that I adore Diana's guns, and I even like her bow, and I was not a bow fan until Diana came out.
Yeah, I'm curious to see who is immediately ready to pick up Diana after she's been out for maybe a day or two. It's gonna be people who are familiar with the weapons, obviously. I can't think off the top of my head anyone who's like switched between a bow character and a gun player relatively frequently that they're like, oh yeah, maybe I can play Diana and I'm comfortable to bring her into a tournament setting. Maybe there's people who are just like, I'll play her round 1 just for funsies, and then switch to my true main once the time is right. But yeah, all right. I'm getting a room number. So
And
feel
also,
free to join.
what we may see is some experimentation, maybe this week, or we could see some people just completely going hardcore on their mains that they've been working on for so long to try and build that lead up to then maybe have the next week that be an experiment week, or maybe a week down the line be an experiment week once they feel like they've earned enough of a lead and they're confident in their spot.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm looking at the match right now. You're welcome to join off of me, but I see it. We've got Egg Soup versus Twilight ready for round 1. Egg Soup is already hovering on Diana. Twilight is gonna be sticking with his boy Bodvar. I don't think I've ever seen Twilight play anyone but Bodvar, but it's gonna be interesting to see how Egg adapts to Diana, considering, to the best of my knowledge, Egg has been playing Hattori for months.
Yeah, that's he was kind of flip-flopping around, kind of choosing his flavor of the month, but it seemed like he landed on Hattori for longer than usual.
Right, I mean, stats-wise, it's not too different. Oh, it looks like they're getting ready to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to this scene, and we're gonna get ready with round 1 of Egg Soup versus Twilight. Let me close this out, and here we go. Egg Soup on that Diana. Twilight with that Bodvar. He's already started off with the unarmed. Egg Soup gets the downlight, gets a Sair, but misses the gravity cancel. Instead goes for a down dodge. That's not what he was looking for. Oh, recovery. Doesn't get the gravity cancel neutral sig.
Now, this matchup is going to be really, really interesting because we know a lot about Twilight, and some people are not that much in favor of his playstyle, but I can tell you that he makes you play the game on his terms, but against Diana's guns, he's most likely going to lose the spacing game in terms of raw stats and duration of frames compared to those guns.
And absolutely, going off of what you said a little bit with the fact that we know how Twilight plays, Twilight may know how Egg Soup plays Hattori, but I would argue that he probably doesn't know how Egg Soup's going to be playing Diana. These two are both Boo members. I'm sure they've played plenty of matches against each other, but that doesn't mean that Twilight is going to be ready for all of the shenanigans that Egg Soup might have with Diana. But as we see, Twilight gets the first kill onto Egg Soup. Nair. Can't get the finishing blow just yet.
Twilight electing to Dipsy Doodle under the stage, trying to stay safe from that bow dare that could spell disaster for him right now. He definitely has a lot of damage on him. Twilight going for the gift, does not get it. Twilight electing to go under the stage yet again, pulling Egg Soup
recovery
in the orange. That recovery is going to take out Twilight, but he put a significant amount of damage onto Egg. Egg is in the orange.
That's right, but Egg Soup not able to keep a weapon out of Twilight's hands, and now Egg Soup is going to have to play that gun spacing game. Oh, Twilight gets on him. Stomp. Dare can't get a nair of any sort, and elects to back off.
I think Hammer was some great RNG for Twilight right here. He already had Egg in the orange, and he is able to hit some Sairs and put more damage on, but Egg is coming back, hitting those guns, racking up that damage. Let's see if Twilight can get a Gimp. He hits the Sair.
Egg's in the red, barely above that Sair. Twilight gets a downlight Sair. Egg Soup knocked out, but he's evened up the health a little bit. Twilight's pretty deep orange. If Egg Soup can get a good string onto him, it might be enough. Doesn't get the ground pound. Neutralite actually protects him? What? Egg Soup going for 2 down sigs, not able to get them, and he's taken so much damage, he's already in the yellow. Going for another gravity cancel down sig, and that might be enough. Twilight doesn't get the dare Gimp. Gravity cancel down sigs from Egg. What is he doing?
Oof.
It's not working, man. Ground pound.
Are we gonna see a dare?
He is adamant about getting this down sig.
I think right now Egg is out to have fun. I know he's feeling sick. He was almost going to forfeit the entire tourney, so I think Egg's just out there to have a little bit of fun this week.
Absolutely. We're gonna see what he decides to switch to. I don't know. Do you think he's gonna stick with Diana and just like goof around with it, or do you think he's gonna switch back to his girl Hattori?
I think he's gonna stick with Diana.
You think he's gonna stick with it? Well, it looks like he is in fact sticking with it. Coming back round 2, or I guess the second match of round 1. Egg Soup versus Twilight. Diana versus Bodvar on Twilight Grove. Who's gonna get the first weapon? Egg Soup picks up the guns and he's charging up the throw. He's looking for the throw into unarmed. Gets the gravity cancel down like that time.
Some pretty significant damage. Twilight's gonna answer back.
Tries to
go
do
the dodge
it.
read.
Does the down dodge, man. Gets the scoop. Can't get the nair. Misses 2 nairs. And Egg Soup ends up getting a bow. See what Egg Soup can do with it.
Those double nairs on Hammer in the air, those can be absolutely brutal. I know we've seen gifs on the Reddit of Pugsy carrying people to the top in tournament.
Egg Soup and Twilight both in the red already. Can Egg Soup get the down sig that he so desperately wants? He's knocking Twilight around, but Twilight's knocked him off the stage. Egg Soup with the gravity cancel down sig in quite possibly a place that wasn't going to hit. But the Sair from Twilight.
Spacing him out, getting the first strike 2 games in a row. I like what Twilight did.
Ooh, answered back.
Answer with a big unarmed side sig. As I was saying, I like what Twilight was doing before of not initiating onto Egg when he was in the red, because bow recovery is extremely strong and has a very interesting hitbox that is really tough to avoid and beat.
Absolutely. Bo has some very, very strong priority in the air. And I like that unarmed adjust from Egg Soup. He had Twilight on the edge, and instead of going for the unarmed damage string, wanted to go for the ground pound, that kind of edge guard unarmed. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the dare, but still cute. He gets the down sig that he wanted so badly, and Twilight is in the red. Can Egg Soup finish it off with a down sig? No, Twilight with these Sairs knocking Egg Soup off.
These devastating Sairs coming out, the dare coming out.
Egg Soup hasn't touched the ground in so long.
Oof.
There it is. Wasn't able to get enough jumps.
That was a huge string of damage from Twilight there. Egg was in the yellow, Twilight was in the red, but he was able to bring it back. Egg was looking in good position. But, and then
answers and walks into the mine.
Unapologetically walking into that mine.
Does not care. He's charging up these throws. Once that unarmed string, he knows that the throw will help set it up at white. And Twilight playing as safe as he can with these dares. Just using that huge 180-degree hitbox to keep Egg Soup away. Still looking for it, though. He's got the bomb. Is he going to throw it away, or is he going to try to use it to initiate? No, he's throwing it away. He's got the guns with Twilight. Gets the downlight string, and Egg Soup's got to watch out for these Sairs. Twilight just got him with Sairs a second ago.
Twilight looking to balance on that line between overspacing and underspacing, waiting for Egg to attack, and then hopping in that dead zone. This might be it.
Egg Soup doesn't have
Egg
the distance.
falls.
And that is going to be game 1 of round 1, going the way of Twilight.
Twilight coming out with a hot 2-0 onto Egg Soup. Egg is sick, and it looks like he was kind of just having fun this week, but that is a 2-0 nonetheless. Twilight coming out of the gate, hitting the ground running.
Absolutely. And with that, let's go ahead and see what our analysts have to say. Let's see if I can go into their room. Hello, analyst, part of the Creed and TWK Smash. How are you guys doing? What do you guys think of that match?
Doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. Thanks for having us on here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, as far as that match goes, needless to say, Twilight had control for pretty much all of it.
Yeah, Egg was definitely using some, well, he was fishing for a lot of like the grapple sigs that Diana has, maybe trying to have some fun, but it wasn't really working his way. Twilight immediately figured out what Egg was doing and knew exactly how to avoid it.
Yeah, particularly, I want to talk a little bit about that first match. We saw Egg kind of fishing for a lot of signatures, even right off the bat. Primarily those grapple ones. I know they look really cool, but they can be a little trickier to land. You know, with that, he was doing a lot of gravity cancel ones off the ledge that cost him a lot of presence and damage. And, I don't know, Twilight just always found a way in on his gunplay and did a great job of staying in.
Definitely, and Egg, it seemed like Egg was doing a little bit better on his bow gameplay than his gun gameplay. I think that has a lot to do with how much Egg's practiced Koji, as opposed to just maybe not using gun-based legends as much. So when Diana came around, you know, he had more experience with the bow.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to talk a moment about like Twilight. We know him a lot for his sword play. You know, everybody's got a comment about it. You see him playing it a lot. He's very solid with it. Just sword Bodvar. That's what he's mainly known for, one of his legends. His hammer play this time around was really something. I think he's definitely put a lot of work into it and buckled down because a lot of situations, that's where the bulk of his damage came from.
Oh, definitely, because you could when Twilight first came around into the scene and became super known, it was his sword that really caught people's attention. And so I think that it's quite possible that Twilight's been practicing down that hammer to try to add more of that variety to his gameplay so he can surprise his opponents with things other than his well-known Sayers on sword.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, obviously his sword is still there. That extremely long edge guard that we saw just last game, Egg Soup trying to make it back, Twilight always knocking him away, Egg somehow always managing to time his dodges pretty well so that way he would have it available to try and get back. I think what actually ended up getting him killed there, not making it back that final time, he accidentally used the jump that he gets from being hit as a recovery. And the bow recovery doesn't really go all that far.
Yeah, definitely. Bow recovery, while great, maybe at having a huge hitbox that can kill, isn't the strongest reaching, especially if it hits. I've seen a lot of the times if you can get yourself to fall into a bow recovery, that basically doesn't move the person using the recovery at all. But as far as edge guarding goes, you know, Egg and Twilight are both super experienced off the ledge, both edge guarding and getting back. So it was really interesting seeing them, seeing Egg, who's great at getting back, and Twilight, who's great at stopping him, and eventually Egg just lost it out.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just really interesting, both of them having come from the most recent LAN tournament at Final Round down in Atlanta. You know, they met in the grand finals there, and it was actually Egg Soup who won it out in the end. And you can actually check out that footage on Brawlhalla's YouTube channel that was uploaded recently. They've got all the footage from that LAN tournament, so give that a look. Lots of great footage there. But I do want to just briefly mention one of the more questionable calls that, you know, some people may have called an accident, but I'm not so convinced. When Egg Soup knocked out Twilight and then intentionally walked over a mine. Yeah, I'm saying it was intentional. It's become a bit of a common thread. The unarmed combos currently, extremely damaging. You can go from white to orange almost immediately, especially against some of the more proficient players. So what some players have actually taken to doing is, oh, you can find an explosive, just knock it right off, there's a quick 30 damage or so on you, and that puts you out of the range where they can actually use those combos on you.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, Twilight has tons of experience with these unarmed combos. Everyone in Boo, especially, I've seen that as a very common occurrence. And so Twilight getting that small bit of damage really puts a hamper on Egg's ability to rack up any sort of huge advantage that he might try to get that late in the game.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, really that was the tail of the tape, so to speak. Just because that first match, Egg actually did a really great job bringing it back, evening it up, surprisingly with his guns, because, I mean, we all know guns do an absolutely insane amount of damage per move. They don't have very many long combos or extended strings, but even just those 2-hit combos will do almost 50 damage sometimes. It's really impressive. So he did a great job evening up the damage, but again, just fishing for those grapple signatures.
They may be fun, but they're also just as punishing.
Yeah, I would have, I know we were talking about this while the match was going on, I would have liked to see a little bit of a change-up, because where I see a lot of the strength of some of Diana's signatures, they complement the basic kit of each of those weapons really well, especially with their timings. So, normally the dodge timing that a lot of people would be, normally the timing that a lot of people would be seeing for dodging away from certain gun and bow moves. That's a timing where the actual signatures would get them caught. Specifically talking about that down signature of the guns, where she does the double blast while taking a step forward.
Yeah. I think we're having a bit of stream trouble as the cameras are a bit messed up. I assume, Duke, that you're doing some stuff.
Duke
Will-
always on it. Yep.
I'm sure everyone in Twitch chat loves the professionalism always going on the Brawlhalla stream. So yeah, while Duke attempts to fix our issues, we can of course continue our lovely analysis. Let's take a look at the bracket real quick and see what's in store. In round 2, so far it looks like we've got I Can't Kill Anyone, who beat Immortals and is moving up to fight Dobreen. Clipper Ship has beat I don't know how to say this, MTS AET, and is moving on to fight On Tilt. That should be exciting. Alec Curiosity beating Melv Dog, moving up to fight Arcade.
Oh, that's going to be very interesting. Alec
I
Curiosity, in one of the more recent tournaments, had an amazing showing, particularly with his hammer. I love watching his hammer play.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Arcade, who is that now? I know that was somebody who recently changed their name, I think.
I'm not sure. I'm afraid I don't know. If anyone in chat wants to shed some light on who Arcade is.
I'm pretty sure they're in the Galaxy Clan, if I'm not mistaken, but that'll
Okay.
definitely be a match to watch.
Moose beat Darth Mimi and is moving on to fight Loco. That should be fun too.
Solid.
And then of course Twilight beat Egg Soup, moving on to fight LDZ. That should be exciting too.
Oh yeah, and it looks like Pugsy and Stardust are still waiting in round 2. Those are definitely some of the stronger players in the scene. You know, we've seen them in tons of tournaments, tons of matches.